Hello, I'm Bryan Voss, president of the Milwaukee School of Engineering chapter of Young Americans for Liberty, and I'm very excited to go to YALCON this year. I attended last year, and it was one of the most invigorating and energizing events I've ever been to. I was introduced to the ideas of liberty a number of years ago when I visited my local county fair, and I stopped to have a very enlightening discussion with the members of the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin when I visited their booth there. I believed that I was a very staunch Republican, as I had been raised, but upon taking the world's simplest political quiz, I discovered I was actually on the libertarian edge of conservatism. It gave me a lot to think about, but I walked away still deciding to vote Republican. And then, like many people my age, I became more socially liberal when I entered college. But that didn't stop me from joining the campus's chapter of college Republicans. And then I met a Yale State chair who was tabling on my campus, and she convinced me to go to the state convention, which was at the next school over the very next day. I went, and I was hooked. I became determined to start a chapter on my campus the next academic year. Having grew up in a very rural neighborhood, I was taught the basics of firearm safety at a very young age, and pretty soon shooting became one of my favorite hobbies. So you can imagine that Second Amendment rights mean a lot to me. And since I entered the very opinionated world of academia, so are the free speech rights. Thankfully, I've had none of them threatened personally, as I live in Wisconsin, which is a very gun-friendly state, and I go to a fairly conservative private university. But it just makes my blood boil whenever I hear a story about how a law-abiding citizen's rights are just trampled upon. And it really makes me want to get involved and do something about it. So in that regard, y'all has been a very productive outlet for me. My past experiences with the state level of college Republicans has caused me to take an interesting stance on how to hashtag make liberty win. It's a bit biased towards my years as a Republican, but I think they could be a really great ally in our fight for liberty in our generation. I've met so many members of college Republicans, and I've heard a number of them speak. And you know what? They sound pretty libertarian. As a millennial, we tend to be more socially liberal than our parents. This means that we have a lot in common with them, and I think we really need to make an effort to reach out to them and show them what our viewpoint has to offer. I've been working on the former chairman of the MSOE chapter of College Republicans for a while now, and I think I've almost got her to see the light. As president of my YAL chapter, I've put on a number of events aimed at allowing students to exercise their right to free speech. I've also given out fake pot brownies and put on presentations to inform students of their rights when dealing with the U.S. criminal justice system. In my personal time, I take liberal friends to the shooting range so that I can show that liberty can actually be pretty fun. When I went to ISFLC this year, I took a job working for Jen Gray, who is a digital marketing consultant for pro-liberty organizations. I edit her podcast, Leading Liberty, which is the first marketing, communication, and activism podcast for pro-liberty professionals. Shameless plug for the podcast. It's on iTunes and Google Play, and you can find out more at heyjengray.com. That's Jen with two N's, Gray with an A. I've had a blast applying my computer skills and technical education to the liberty movement, which I've honestly been trying to find a way to do ever since I joined up with YAL. I went to YALCON last year with one goal: get my new chapter up and running, with activism events that will get students' attention and get them involved with issues that matter to them. I've since done that, but of course there's always more work to be done. This year, my goals are twofold: generate more ideas to help the chapter get going and help my president get a running start on taking over the chapter when I'm gone, and find a job that can really utilize my skills in the information technology field to help advance liberty, so I can continue to make a difference once I've left my Yale chapter. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at YALCON.